Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing this Wednesday, January 14th. For our first topic, we are going to talk about the PG&E Monterey Substation project. PG&E is rebuilding the Monterey Substation to meet the growing energy needs of the Monterey Peninsula. And so the upgrades are designed to increase capacity, reduce planned outages for thousands of customers, and support local businesses, tourism, and the overall future growth in the region. So today, to share more details, we have Jeremy Howard, Regional Senior Manager for the Central Coast Division at PG&E. And we also have Mike McCarty, Senior Manager of Electric Distribution Planning. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, happy to be here.
All right, I'll go ahead and dive in. Let me share my screen. All right, so yes, I'm excited to be here today and present our project here. So as stated, my name is Mike McCarty. I'm the Senior Manager of Electric Distribution Planning at PG&E, which among many things involves electric capacity projects on our distribution system, just like this one we have here for the Monterey Substation. So I'm particularly excited about Monterey because I actually cut my teeth as an engineer here operating the area. And honestly, one of my first memories of going out in the field as an engineer right out of college is going to a location right outside Monterey Sub. So it's near and dear to me for that reason. So going into what it is we're doing here. So we are getting pretty close to wrapping up this project. So we have a projected in-service date of Q2. So only here in a few months, we plan on going operational with what will ultimately be an over $40 million project to upgrade the substation and the surrounding areas. So at the core of this project, it was installing a 30 MVA transformer and 2 new feeders. But to accomplish this, the scope of the project more closely resembles a substation rebuild because we actually were converting the voltage that this substation serves. So historically, it was serving primarily 4 kV, and we're actually upgrading it to 21 kV. So to do that and bring this substation in line with our modern distribution standards, we had to start by installing distribution equipment to take on that 4 kV in the interim while we basically decommissioned the substation. We had to do work to reconfigure our transmission system such that we could do the work inside the substation. So that's how this project started. And then that allowed us, once we were able to effectively clear and decommission the substation, it allowed us to go in there and replace a lot of the equipment there and bring it up to those new standards, bring in the new transformer, pull in the new feeders, and the new 21 kV switchgear associated with that. So the end result is an increase to the electric distribution capacity in this area. So we're bringing on more capacity into the area and an increase in reliability both on our distribution system and our transmission system in this area. So on the capacity side, a project like this is the equivalent of powering over 7,500 homes on average, in a coastal area even more so, given the lower load. And it also gives us some headroom on the distribution system as well to allow for future load growth, be it from building electrification, transportation electrification, or other large new loads coming onto our system. On the reliability side, we see this project as really, it's going to decrease outage exposure by 50% by historical estimates for this area. And so a big benefit on that front. And I can go into an example of what that looks like here in a little bit. But so anyways, just to summarize, new 30 MVA transformer, we're converting voltage from 4 kV to 21 kV on our distribution system. And lastly, we are installing some additional cable as a part of this project to bring that 21 kV out into the other areas that are currently on that 21 kilovolt system to allow us to increase capacity and decrease outage exposure. So benefits for this project, just to keep going into those details. So we're reducing the customer count on the 3 substations in the area. So that is really where the benefit to reliability comes from. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on that on the next slide. And it also, we're upgrading our equipment and bringing it into the new standards there. So with the conversion, this allows on the operational flexibility side It gives us more capacity to do routine maintenance because we now have a new 21 kilovolt source in the area. And it also gives us more emergency capability should something happen, unexpected. So the neighboring substations will see an increase in reliability because we have this additional source coming into the area to pick those up during abnormal situations. We are supporting new load growth and electrification, creating capacity, like I said, for building and transportation electrification. And then particularly for the landmarks in the area, this is bringing that capacity into the Cannery Row, Monterey Bay Aquarium, and the city of Pacific Grove. Jump ahead here to the example I was going to provide. So you can see where our system is today and then where our system is after this project is completed. And this is where we see the reliability benefit. So on the today here, we have in purple here, the Viejo substation that currently serves approximately 18,000 distribution customers. And on the Del Monte substation, it's currently serving approximately 28,500 customers. So this is segmented into different transformers are serving this load. Below that, different circuits are serving that load. So this doesn't mean that if one outage happens, it impacts 18,000 customers. But this just gives you a visual of where we're at today and how between the two substations, where the customers are. In the future, after this project is complete with our projected Q2 26 in service, you can see how we're redistributing the number of customers served by these substations. And so you have that 10,500 customers that are served from the Monterey substation. And then we have customers that are coming off of the Viejo and Del Monte substations. So you can imagine just a high level example would be, if we had, say, a loss of Viejo, which wouldn't happen necessarily for both banks, for both transformers there, but just for this example, that would be 18,000 customers out of power. In the future, that decreases to 14,500. And so the outage exposure to those customers decreases. Also, just the lines themselves are shorter, so the exposure to outages on the lines decreases. And then lastly, when outages do occur, you can see in red here on the after, this red Monterey, these circuits are now available for that normal and emergency switching capability. So we have more operational flexibility to switch our circuits around and pick up loads both during normal and abnormal situations unexpected situations in plant. So this is one of the primary benefits and drivers of this project is this reliability boost, and then also the capacity benefits that I mentioned before. So yeah, that's what I had prepared here. I hope you're excited about this project as I am and seeing near completion. I really look forward to realizing the benefits to the Monterey community here, and I thank you for the opportunity to present this material.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here today. I do have a question, and I'm wondering if you can go a little bit more into how the project supports the growing needs of the community, the impacts for, growing businesses and things like that. If you can jump into that a little bit.
Absolutely. So while the primary driver for this project was that reliability benefit and specifically decreasing the number of customers that are on each circuit. So by decreasing the number of customers on each circuit, you're decreasing the number of customers that would be impacted by an outage on that circuit. Well, that's the primary benefit. We also are bringing in additional capacity. So the previous transformers at the Monterey substation that was serving the 4 kV system was around 10 MVA of load, or 10 megawatts. You can kind of think of a megawatt equals an MVA here. So it was 10 megawatts. After this project, we're bringing in 30 megawatts. And so that is future-proofing the area a little bit. And we expect to see at least 15 MVA of headroom so that a new application for load comes into this area. The substation itself will be prepared to serve that load. Now, that doesn't mean that anywhere in the distribution system has that spare capacity, because a lot of that is location specific and we need to build the line or upgrade the line going to the location. But at least the substation itself has the ability to take on that new load. In addition, as a part of our substation design, we also think about the ultimate plan for the substation. And so some of our transmission work at the Monterey substation actually allows for us to bring in to install a new transformer in the future should load growth demand it or require it. It allows us to bring in a new transformer without having to do the transmission work. So we'd still have to do the medium voltage distribution work, but we wouldn't have to do the transmission work. So really, in summary, capacity headroom exists today, and we're also future proofing should we actually use up that headroom.
Wow, that's awesome. And, really great opportunity for growth. And I know this area in particular is often impacted by power outages. And so I think it's important, like you mentioned, that reliability. That's really awesome. I do want to know if what feedback you guys have gotten from the community. Are they excited about this? What have you heard?
Yeah,
Jeremy, you wanna
I'll
take
take
that?
this one.
Yeah,
I'll
thanks.
take this one. Well, we've had an opportunity to get the message out a little bit. Obviously, we love joining you here today too to make sure that that the residents in the area are aware of the work that's going on and all of the planning that goes on to executing a project like this. So, naturally, after the big storms we saw just over the course of Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then the subsequent couple of days after that, I think a lot of folks are excited about the reliability improvements. And as Mike mentioned, having this new substation right here in the core of Monterey as another source of power for residents is going to, really enable us to have that operational flexibility. So when we do have an outage, we're able to do switching, maybe get more customers restored faster while those repairs are being made. So that winter storm was quite a wallop for our system. We had 182 locations here in Monterey County that were impacted by most of it was tree and tree branch related. So as you can imagine, having the operational flexibility to do some switching and get more customers on while we made those repairs in those 182 locations is, of course, a welcome benefit, not only for PG&E, but I'm sure for our customers as well.
Great. Well, really appreciate you both being here today. This is really exciting, and we'll definitely be sure. If you can go ahead and please send me your slides so we can include that and share that with our media partners, that would be great. Thank you again.
Of course, thank you.
Great, thank you. Yeah, thanks for enjoying having us and letting us join the conversation.
Awesome, thank you. Now on to our next topic. Our local colleges play a vital role in driving economic growth across the region, whether it's supporting jobs and local businesses to preparing students for the workforce. These institutions make a real difference in our community and beyond. So today we've invited representatives from our three main local colleges. We have Vanya Quiñones, who's president of Cal State Monterey Bay. We also have Marshall Fulbright, superintendent and president of Monterey Peninsula College. And then we also have Michael Gutierrez, superintendent and president of Hartnell College. Thank you all so much for being here. Who would like to kick us off? We can start with Vanya if you'd like.
I was trying to find the mute button. So, well, I'm really excited to be here this afternoon. Thank you for inviting the three of us. As you said before, we collaborate between each other to move forward the workforce of this region, and we're really very excited to be here. So thank you again for letting us speak about the economic impact of our institutions across the region. As you say, I'm Vanya Quiñones. I'm president of Cal State Monterey Bay, and I've been here about 4 years, and every day I love it more and more. Cal State Monterey Bay was founded with the purpose to serve the region, educate the people, creating a strong workforce development, and contribute to the long-term economic viability of the Central Coast. We are 30 years old, so our university has been critical in connecting economic development as our graduates go across the whole region to make a difference and make an economic impact. The university has developed through the years, and we just make an economic impact report, so I'm going to read a little bit about it. We support about $579 million regional industry activity that comes directly from Cal State Monterey Bay. And we sustain about 6,000 jobs across the Central Coast region and Salina Valley. We contribute $251 million in wages for employees, external vendors, and service providers. And the university generates about $44 million on state and local taxes revenue per year. So our direct economic output from our operation, construction, maintenance project, auxiliary and student spending totals about 400 million annually. And these numbers represent more than institutional activity. They represent local paychecks, supporting small businesses, providing community and service to the region. Every dollar that the state provide to the campus, we generate about $6 statewide industrial activity. And when you calculate the graduates and everything that we do to the region, every dollar that the state contribute is about $12 that comes back. So we're providing education to our students, and this is a catalyst for sustaining the regional and statewide economic growth. Our partnership goes across many levels, from government to industrial leaders to educational partners. And I'm sure when you walk around, you see a lot of otters. So, we're all embedded. Otter is our mascot. So we're all embedded across the whole spectrum of the region. So we have about 30,000 alumni, about 82% state regional. And so otters are everywhere. And they work in places such as the UC campuses, Stanford, MIT, but also they go to NASA, Microsoft, Pixar, Monterey Aquarium, Taylor Farms, Pebble Beach, etc. So we are part of the county and we're very proud of it. Something that you may not be aware is that equally important for us is that we're committed to social mobility and community engagement. And so we are always ranked in the last 3 years, 1 or 2 on top university for social mobility, according to the US News World Report. We also have one of the least expensive universities, according to the Department of Education. Cal State Monterey Bay costs much less, about $5,253 less than midpoint and most 4-year colleges. And so it is a really strong value, public institution and value for our students. The last thing I want to talk about is our work with the community. So we are one of the few universities that require community work for our students. We have 2 rounds of them. So at any given time, any year, we have 3,000 students working annually in community partners. We have about 471 members of the community of Monterey, which we contribute about 81,000 volunteer hours per year, strengthening nonprofit schools, public agency, etc. So indeed, we were just recognized 2 days ago by the American Council on Education to be 1 out of 277 institutions that contribute to community engagement. So we're very proud of that aspect of our work. So it is, something that we take very seriously, all the way from workforce development to community work. Cal State is a partner, and we're also a partner from both our feeder community colleges, Hartnell and MPC. We have dual admission processes. We have strong pathways for transferring students, and we're making new deals and new arrangements to just continue to strengthen this relationship. With that in mind, I'm going to let my partners to join in the conversation.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I think on our order, Michael, I went next, so I'll just kind of jump in there if that's okay. We're all collaborative. Everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning again, and thank you for having us. I am too excited to be here. This is my 3rd year, and as I start this, I first took this position at MPC. I started in June, and in order to convince my son to come up here, we took a trip in May. I also had to promise to buy him a dog, but to get him excited about this move, and he wanted to go fishing. And so we went out on one of those fishing trips. And while we were out there, you can see I was wearing my MPC hat and I had a new shirt. And the captain noticed it and goes, "Hey, I went to MPC and did my degree in biology and transferred." And then the deckhand told me how MPC, he went to MPC and how his son was going to MPC. And they both talked about how the college had changed their lives and helped them build who they are and where they are today, right here in this community. So like otters are everywhere, lobos are everywhere as well. And it was at that moment that I really realized, before even starting here, that MPC isn't just about educational institution. It is deeply woven into the economic fabric of this county. And that fabric, especially at a place in Monterey County, is where hospitality and tourism generate over $3 billion in visitor spending each year, supporting local businesses, wages and families throughout the broader almost $40 billion for the county economy. So when people start talking about economic impact of our college and our institutions, they often go to the numbers straight there. But I want to just talk about the people, then filter out the people, to the neighborhoods, to the communities, to the cities, and then ultimately this entire region. Where MPC, we enrolled almost 12,000 students in 2024 and are scheduled for growth this year. And of those 12,000, over half, almost 55% were first generation college students, first time going to college from their parents. 61 of them were eligible for financial aid. So we are literally working to change the trajectory of the lives of many of those families for economic prosperity and development as they move forward. But at the core of it, MPC is a workforce engine for this county. And for this county that employs about 186,000 employees. We offer career and CTE technical education across a multitude of fields that are directly connected to this region: healthcare, hospitality and business, automotive, applied technology, public safety, education, and other social services. And these aren't just, random obscure pathways. They correspond to the sectors that sustain Monterey County's economy, particularly, again, healthcare and hospitality. At the same time, MPC is also actively working with our regional partners to be innovative and look beyond our current programs and offerings. We recognize that technology and artificial intelligence and AI are already reshaping the workforce and will continue to do so. So to remain competitive as an institution and as a region, we must anticipate some of these changes and develop programs that prepare students and workforce for jobs, not just for today, but for the future. So by doing both, meeting the current workforce needs while trying to invest in the future, MPC is trying to reduce those skills gaps and support employers who need qualified workers and strengthening the long-term productivity and competitiveness of this region. The economic impact becomes even greater when we start looking at some of our outcomes. So across the California community college system, about 70 to 74% of career technical education students find employment in the field that they study in, and their earnings and gains after that, their employment and wages go up 30 to 50%. At MPC specifically, our data shows that students completing CTE programs experience about a 44% increase in their wages, and 80% of our students are employed right after getting and attaining their training. These just aren't better jobs, they are family-sustaining wages, and they help support the overall economy of this region. So when wages rise, that means monies more are circulating locally. That means more stability in family. That means stronger economic health, again, for our entire region. Now, another key driver for MPC's economic impact is on-the-job learning and training. This allows students to earn while they are still learning. In most recent academic years, MPC supported over 100 paid internships and work-based learning opportunities across multiple disciplines. These experiences are intentionally connected to coursework, allowing students to apply what they are learning in real time while still earning income. And that matters especially in a high-cost living region as we live in, because students should not have to choose between either gaining experience and or supporting themselves. That's not always feasible. So from an economic standpoint, this model works on both sides. Students are earning wages and spending locally, supporting the region and economy as they progress through their program. At the same time, employers are benefiting from the training and the job-related workforce that is taking place. So by integrating paid work internships that lead directly into academic programs, MPC is working to strengthen our workforce pipeline and support students' persistence and reinforce our local economy where learning and earning can happen at the same time together. In a high cost of living area like this, also retaining talent really matters. Students who train locally are more likely to work locally. Graduates earning family sustaining wages are more likely to stay, raise their families, and invest in this community rather than trying to import talent from elsewhere. MPC helps Monterey County grow its workforce here rather than from importing or losing it to somewhere else. So as we walk through this discussion, MPC strengthens our region's economy by aligning education and workforce needs, increasing wages, and supporting local employers and families through training, partnerships, and opportunities. MPC isn't just the local economy, we're helping to shape its overall future. And we do that one student, one partnership, and one opportunity at a time. So thank you for your time. I hit my 7 minutes and I'll turn it over to my colleague from Salinas, Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Marshall. And I'm having some technical difficulties, so I'm going to ask if Richard Morales can share the slide deck. And so while Richard is doing that, I'm really happy to have the opportunity to be with all of you this afternoon. And I think after hearing from both Vanya and Marshall, you will see that the information, while it seems like it's aligned, it really complements each other really well, and it's really not duplicative because Vanya's role is the entire county and really the tri-county area and statewide and nationwide, while Marshall focuses on the Peninsula side and I'm on the Valley side. So we complement each other, we collaborate and cooperate as well. And so what you'll see once the slide deck is up is that at Hartnell, our mission really focuses on what Vanya and Marshall were talking about, and our mission is to advance the economic and social mobility of our students. And from a visionary perspective, it's aspirational because we want all our students, we're not quite there yet, but we want all our students to be able to have connections and access once they graduate to jobs with livable wages. And for our transfer students, that not only they transfer, but they earn a bachelor's degree, because we're codependent in our transfer degrees with CSUMB and the other universities to ensure that our residents will gain jobs with economic and social mobility. And so I don't know is Richard not on here?
So we are working on getting the slides up. Dina, I don't know if you're able to share the slide deck, please. If not, I can try to pull them up. 1 second.
And so I'll just continue talking while you're doing
Yeah,
this.
go ahead.
So, yeah, and so what you'll see from the information is from a statewide perspective, the return on investment that you see from our taxpayers statewide, and then it'll narrow down to what we're doing at Hartnell. And some of the things that I think are unique to Hartnell that allow us to impact our local economy is that we have the only ag mechatronics program from a community college in the state of California. Our welding program, we probably have the largest welding bay of any community colleges in California. And then our healthcare, our nursing program is nationally recognized And we, in our respiratory care program, we not only have the associate degree, but this year we have our first bachelor's degree program in respiratory care. And so if you can go on to the next slide, then you'll see that from a system perspective of all community colleges in California, that the total economic impact is about $173 billion to our state, which represents about 5% of our GSP, our great gross state product. And we support about 1.7 million jobs statewide, which is about 1 in every 15 jobs in the state of California. If you can go on to the next slide. And so from a return on investment or economic breakdown, you'll see that students that have graduated from our community colleges add value at $156 billion. But our current students that are coming to our community colleges, they add value as well to the economy and spend about $8 billion. And then in terms of our operations, a little over $7 billion, making up our faculty, our staff, and the things that we spend and add to the economy. And in terms of construction building statewide, about 1.1 billion to our economy. Next slide. So specifically in terms of the value generated for every dollar spent. So for every dollar that the state of California spends on community college, the return on investment is $13. So it's 13-fold. And then for every dollar invested, in terms of tax returns, it's $1.60 on that $1. And so from a societal perspective, in terms of income and savings that we gain from health, crime, unemployment, things of that nature, that for every dollar invested, $14 is returned to the state of California. Next slide. And so overall, you'll see that the investment from the state is $19.6 billion, and the overall return on investment is 14 times that. And so you'll see that the economic growth is $271 billion. So just like what we see locally with CSUMB and with MPC and Hartnell, it is just multiplied statewide and but I think the work that we're doing locally is even more so. Next slide. So Vanya talked a little bit about this. They're one of the universities nationwide that has been classified as an opportunity college and university. And Hartnell College, we're one of 2 community colleges in California that are recognized as an opportunity college and university, and that makes it the top 6% nationwide. There's only 66 community colleges nationwide that have this designation, and it really is about what we've talked about, that we're enrolling students from our community and they're achieving economic and social mobility, and our data backs that up. Next slide. And so Hartnell, what you'll see here annually, we have over 13,000 students, and then our graduates are earning 11,000 on average more than a student that has just achieved a high school diploma. Next slide. And then are the students themselves personally achieving a return on investment to their education. And Hartnell is recognized as one of the top 20 community colleges statewide in terms of affordability and making sure that the students can pay back any debt if they have any. And so on the next slide, you will see that just like MPC, just like CSUMB, we're highly affordable. So the net price is about $2,900, and our students on average are taking about half a year to pay back anything that they owe, which is really affordable for our community members. Next slide. And so that gives you a pretty quick picture of not just Hartnell College. We're celebrating our 105th year here in the Salinas Valley, and all three higher ed institutions are linchpins, not just to our communities, but to economic and social mobility for our entire county. So I think at this time, we'll open it up to any questions for all three of us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really, I mean, all three, colleges, amazing work, and the impact that it really has in our community is really important to highlight. I do want to cover, I did get a question, is how your institution stays connected to the needs of the surrounding communities, whether that means the development of new programs. I guess I would like if all three of you can answer that.
So I can go first. Basically, all the colleges, so a university is divided by subunits. And so we have colleges of health, we have business colleges, science. So all our colleges have an advisory committee of members of the community. So they have top leaders of the industry guiding our curriculum with the faculty. So that's one way that we do it. So we have a couple of new programs that were directly guided by the need of the agro division. We have distribution, business distribution, that is how to distribute large products and stuff like that. That came directly from input from the community. That's one way we do it. The second one is we use a lot of data on workforce needs. And so we are expanding with the help of Marsha and Michael, our nursing program, because we all three recognize that that's something that is really needed on the area. So we also use workforce needs related to what is needed on any given time. So the curriculum of a university and our community colleges is dynamic, and we use the resources accordingly to ensure that we're providing the workforce for the future. I don't know if Marshall and Michael have any other insight.
I think Michael and I we're very similar in that, the review process for like a regular English class or history class every 6 years. For our CTE, our career courses are every 2 years. And we know that even that's too long. So we have advisory boards as well. We're required to by law. We just need them so that we invite folks in from industry to provide input on curriculum where it could and should change. What machinery we're using, what techniques are people learning. We don't want to be training people on VHS recorders and we're moving to something different. So we do get that from the community and from the industry on a regular basis. Some a lot more frequently than others because it changes so frequently now. But bare minimum every year and a half or so.
And both Vanya and Marshall did an excellent job of explaining. The only thing that I will add is that we're also involved in partnerships that are driving businesses that are cutting edge. So an example of that is the air mobility movement that you see with companies such as Joby. And so when there's specific needs that maybe the data is not quite showing yet, it's through these partnerships with business and industry that allows us to work with them to see if our existing programs can meet their needs. And if we have to do something different, then we build those new programs or we alter existing programs.
I also want to add that the same way that we have advisory committees coming to us, our faculty are embedded on the industry. So we have people on Joby, we have people on different boards, we have experts of our faculty working with accounting needs. And so that symbiotic relationship is not only them coming and telling us, it's our faculty and our structures going to the companies and saying, hey, this is where they're moving, this is what we need to do. So I think it's a very fluid, symbiotic relationship of both external partners with our staff working together to continue to move the region forward.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. I think that covers it really well. You did mention partnerships, and so I don't know if you guys can share some of the top partnerships. I know you had mentioned Joby, and then how that leads to job opportunities for graduates.
Well, I will say with Hartnell, we have the 10 of the largest ag multinational corporations in our area. And so they are significant partners in what we do, helped us eventually build the ag mechatronics program that we have. But that's not, it's just we have other ag business, plant science, other ag related programs that really connect with many of those in the ag areas, ag related areas. But one thing, it's with such large companies, they also have needs in programs that maybe are not as obvious, like accounting, business, networking, human resources, things that are part of operations that you see at the county and at the college. They also have those same needs. So they provide opportunities for our students to connect through internships, micro internships, and opportunities for them to get connected with the industry. And students that are going through an internship of some kind are 42% more likely to employ it when they're graduated. So it's a really critical part of what we do in terms of the partnership development, is making sure that our students are getting employed while they're students or when they're graduating. And that's also a good indicator. If our students aren't being employed, it's a good indicator on our programs on whether we need to make some modifications, alter it, or it's a partnership that we may not have that is keeping our students from being employed.
Yeah, really great answer. Yeah, go ahead, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, our partnership, Michael has his partnership there. We have our partnership, which is extremely unique with Community Hospital of Monterey Peninsula, CHOMP. Our nursing faculty are their nurses, 100%. So this is our third year in a row that 100% of our nursing students pass their board license certification, 100%. The overwhelming majority, I want to say it's almost 60% of the nurses at CHOMP came through the Maureen Church Coburn School of Nursing. So that partnership is extremely unique, where when we are able to increase our nursing students by 8 and then 16 the following year, MPC has a partnership and pays for part of it. Community Hospital Monterey Peninsula pays for a part of it, so that it increases our capacity in order to help train more and more. Again, working to train those that are here, having programs that take someone through the healthcare industry into nursing, as opposed to trying to bring people in, is absolutely important. We're doing the same thing with MPUSD, training instructors and teachers or folks that are already here to be teachers is way easier than trying to recruit from outside the area. So those are some big partnerships that we have at NPC. I know my colleagues have similar partnerships with the big areas or the big industries in their areas as well.
I just want to give another example. So similarly, we're in education, nursing, but something unique on this region is hospitality. We are one of the most beautiful counties of California, and there is a big need for hospitality trained personnel and workforce. And I know that MPC and Hartnell both have a strong, and CSUMB has a strong hospitality program. We're embedded with Pebble Beach. So we have something that is called the Pebble Beach Scholars. Basically, there is a subset of students from CSUMB that have a 5-year part-time job with Pebble Beach during their tenure with the university and with Pebble Beach. And they work on different areas of Pebble Beach, learning the whole Pebble Beach business at different aspects of their career. That provide a strong training. So you will have these students that will graduate and they will be embedded in that specific region. We also have our hospitality program that once again is partnered with each of the different hotels and different providers on this area. So I think that between the three of us, we work cohesively with agricultural aspects, with building, with nursing, health, with hospitality. So we have all of these different internships and specific curriculums to enhance the workforce of the region.
Great. Well, thank you so much. A lot of really great information, and we know how impactful our three local colleges are. So I just wanted to take the time to say thank you to all three of you for being here today, and for the important work that you do, and the impact that it has in our community. Thank you again for being here.
For inviting us. It was really our pleasure. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing will be next week, and we'll see you